Could Evan Engram be the X factor for the Broncos this season? This is your Denver Sports Daily for June 10th.
The biggest stories, the latest news. It's Denver Sports Daily.
The Broncos made a flurry of moves this offseason, but signing Evan Engram might be the one that sticks out the most in the future. Again, it's too early to tell because, of course, a lot of the guys that have come into this team in the offseason, including the draft, have yet to take an NFL snap. So we don't really know who's going to be the best. It's all just projections. But Evan Engram could be the one that stands out. He could be the playmaker, the thing that leads the Broncos from a wild card exit to a Super Bowl winning team. And I know it sounds early to say, especially the fact that this team was down in the dumps just 2 seasons ago. Now we can talk about Super Bowls. It's never too early to talk about Super Bowls when you're in the playoffs. And that's the thing. The Broncos made it to the playoffs. They are now a contender. Now, last year, the Broncos tight end room was terrible. And that's not sugarcoating it at all. I don't want to sugarcoat it. It was garbage. It wasn't great. Adam Troutman, Lucas Kroll, Nate Atkins, Greg Dulcich, those 4 combined for 483 yards and 5 touchdowns. That's only 8 combined yards and 2 touchdowns better than Devon Vele, who was 3rd place in the receiver room. Now, in last season, in only 9 games, Evan Engram recorded almost double Adam Troutman's receiving yards with 365 yards. So he's only got about 118. It's exactly 118 less yards just in 9 games than the entire tight end room did for the Broncos last season. And that was in a 9-game season for Evan Engram. He only played 9 games and did that much with so little. He also got a touchdown last season. But going back into his 9th season, he's coming in off an injury. Engram could be a bust. And I know you probably didn't think that's where this conversation was going to go. He could be a bust, but he could show his true colors. Just 2 seasons ago, Engram went off for 963 yards and 4 touchdowns, and easily his best season of his career. So if we get that Evan Engram, they could be in a great position. The Broncos would find themselves in a perfect position, actually, if they get that version of Evan Engram. But that's a big if right there. If they've got a stacked receiver room already, a tight end that can protect Bo Nix while also being able to catch easy checkdowns, and then if RJ Harvey produces at even a semi-high level, or the Broncos end up bringing in J.K. Dobbins, they could make a run for the best roster in the league. And that's not sugarcoating it at all either, because we already see that this team has one of the best rosters in the league. That's just factual. You've seen posts about it. There have been articles proving that the Broncos are not only a top 10 roster, but there are some saying that they're a top 5 roster. And if they bring in a J.K. Dobbins on top of this, we could be watching a championship run in the offseason before it happens. I mean, we could literally be watching how to build a championship team, and it's fun to watch. But Evan Engram is the reason it all started. I mean, this offense, of course, the defense was already amazing last season. They brought in a lot of great pieces in the draft, in free agency. They did a great job on the defense, but I'm not talking about the defense right now. I'm talking about how good this offense is going to be. And Evan Engram could be that X factor that makes the difference, because we saw what Bo Nix was able to do with a terrible tight end room. Now imagine what he can do with a solid tight end who's almost had a 1,000-yard season in the league just 2 seasons ago. It's going to be very fun to watch. It's going to be incredibly fun to watch. I cannot wait to see what Bo Nix does with this roster, because if he could succeed last year with it just being a barely filled roster, barely fixed up, they were still working out the kinks. It's going to be incredible to watch what he's going to do with a solid, good roster. Now, moving on, the newest MLB Mock Draft has the Rockies getting a potential superstar. Now, the Rockies don't have much to be happy about right now, and we know this. In fact, they should have nothing to be happy about. However, the Rockies do have the 4th pick this year, not even the 1st, despite how bad they've been doing in these past couple seasons. And with that pick, they could be getting a potential superstar. The latest mock draft released by Jonathan Mayo had the Rockies taking Ethan Holiday at the 4th spot. Even though the projections were saying that Ethan Holiday could go first in earlier mocks, he could now fall to the Rockies. Holiday's still in high school right now, but he's recording some insane numbers. He's batting a .617 average with 50 hits, 50 runs, 51 RBIs, and 16 home runs in only 32 games. Those are incredible numbers. And sure, he's still in high school, but this guy's going straight from high school to the league. Now, Holiday should be a familiar name to most MLB fans, as his father, Matt Holiday, played for the Rockies for 4 years from 2004 to 2008, was a 4-time Silver Slugger, and won NLCS MVP in 2007. And his brother, Jackson Holiday, is also in the league playing for the Baltimore Orioles, and he's having a standout sophomore season. Now, if Ethan is anything like his family members, the Rockies should be chopping at the bit to get him. This might be the last chance that the Rockies have to do something of substance in the draft, because as bad as they are, and this is just so funny to me, because as bad as they are, it keeps getting worse. They are not allowed to get a top 10 pick next season due to the league's anti-tanking rules. So they're not even going to be able to pick in the top 10, despite the fact that they might lose 130 games this season. I mean, come on. How much worse can it get for the Rockies? It's just sad to watch. But if they can get Ethan Holiday here, if they can do something, if they can make this worth it, if they have a chance to go get Ethan Holiday, then we've got something to be happy about, even though there's barely anything. Hey, the little W's are all that matter right now for the Rockies. Now, moving on, what do the Nuggets need to do as they get deeper into the offseason? That's a great question. The Nuggets are heading into what could be their biggest offseason in franchise history. That is, if they want to do it right. If it's big, they're doing it right. If they don't do anything this offseason, then they failed. The most important thing that the Nuggets need to do this offseason is simple. Make the most of it. You need to make a splash when it comes to free agents and the trade block. Nikola Jokic said it best after the Game 7 loss to the OKC Thunder when he took the podium saying, quote, "It definitely seems like the teams that have longer rotations, longer benches are the teams that are winning. Indiana, OKC, Minnesota." That was what Jokic said. He's right. You know, you see Indiana and OKC, they're both in the finals right now. Minnesota has a deep bench, and they made a deep run. They were in the Western Conference Finals. Sure, they got dominated by OKC, but Minnesota has been the thorn in the side of the Nuggets for a very long time, and they did that. They have an extended bench. Extending the bench and getting a true backup center should be the main goal for the Nuggets. If they could bring in somebody like Bruce Brown, who's a great shooting guard, who we all know and love here, if they can bring him in, if they can get somebody like Robert Williams III out in Portland, they could easily improve their chances of going back to the finals. The Nuggets also need to figure out who's going to stay in the starting lineup, most notably Michael Porter Jr. I mean, he's an incredible player in the regular season. He's a lights-out shooter, is tall and athletic enough to record 10 rebounds a game, but in the playoffs, he doesn't play up to his potential. His light dims. He doesn't play the same way we see in the regular season where he's hitting 6 threes in a game to seal a Nuggets win, where he's putting up 21 points and 10 rebounds. That doesn't happen in the playoffs for Michael Porter Jr. Finally, though, the Nuggets need to figure out who their GM is. For some reason, they are taking their sweet, sweet time when it comes to getting a new general manager. And what that could be, they could be waiting on somebody on the OKC or Indiana squad to finish in the finals to finally get them over in Denver. There's a lot of talks right now about what the Nuggets are going to do in this offseason because it's huge. It matters so much. What are they going to do? Every move that they make is going to be important. They need to have a huge, huge offseason if they want to actually go back to the finals, because we've seen the past 2 years that it didn't work. It didn't work. You lost your great players. You lost KCP. You lost Reggie Jackson, Bruce Brown. All of these guys, they lost because they didn't want to pay them, or there were problems in their contract negotiations. It's not worth it. It's not worth it to lose players because you want to save money and try to go get something else, try to fix up the position if you can't win a finals. That's the main goal for the Nuggets right now. Is the championship window is still open. You need to make moves and you need to make the most of this offseason. But that'll do it for your Denver Sports Daily. I'll be back with you guys again tomorrow talking about more Broncos. We got mini camp starting today. There's a lot of things to watch in mini camp. It is mandatory. So we got all those Broncos players out there for the first time doing what they do, getting out on the field, getting their first real reps in of the offseason all together. It's definitely going to be fun to watch, and I know I will definitely be talking about it tomorrow. But until then, y'all have a great rest of your day. I will see you all later. Bye, y'all.